Whoa, welcome back to my channel, sports fans. Okay, let's get into this one right here. The LeBron James saga will not end, folks. Now we talk about the 91 playoffs, where Horace Grant obviously is being paid by Unclutch Sports to say that Michael Jordan was not the MVP. And frankly, a guy like Scottie Pippen was the finals MVP for averaging 20 points per game. Now we know that the 91 finals was one of Michael Jordan's most historic finals of all time. We don't really, we don't know where to rank it. It's just insane. All we know is when Michael Jordan showed up to the finals, Michael Jordan didn't show up to the finals. Michael Jordan showed up to the finals and showed the hell out. Michael Jordan, at least 5 of his 6 finals, you could say are the greatest finals of all time. It's just ridiculous. And if you don't know NBA history, sorry, you don't know it. Maybe you wasn't there. Maybe you're not watching the you're not watching a memory of it, because you can go back and watch it, the game. You know what I'm saying? This thing, the 1960s, even though you can go back and watch some games too. But anyhow, it's just funny, man. Let me say this first. You know what sucks about this whole thing? And I told you that, a lot of people get me wrong because they don't understand what I'm saying. But LeBron James in his camp, Clutch Sports, and I won't particularly put it on LeBron James, even though I done said his name in the past. And I said LeBron James is the greatest sports businessman of all time. To be a 4-6 loser, to be a failure, to be a cheater, and he's still being talked about to this day in, at 1 or 2 by the media. Remember, this is supposed to be the basketball media. You have a media which is in, a football media, you have a soccer media, you have a baseball media. This is our basketball media today, because these guys couldn't achieve, on-court greatness. In, when you look on the court, it doesn't move you today or for a while, right? The soap opera has to be a soap opera based on what the media is telling you. So this is where we are today with the LeBron James. This is where we are today. And I guess you can chop it up to Unclutch Sports, who is a catalyst of this stuff, right? And how they're able to pay off people, ex-sports players, to say these type of things. Now, we don't know how much money they're getting paid, and a lot of us are like dazed and confused about why they would say these things and act this way as far as in lying, when they're supposedly have been made, millions of dollars in their career. That's what we thought. They were getting paid tens of millions of dollars a year, or, millions of dollars, depending on, how far you go back and look at it. So where's all their money at? I mean, where's all their money? Because they can't be getting paid, that much to be telling these lies, as far as, from Unclutch Sports. Now, if you really didn't make that kind of money and you're broke, yes, I guess you would need the money. And that's what it seems like these guys need, these ex-players. They need money because they don't have no money. They really never made the money that we were told. And this is the big thing with me with these players today. They're supposed to be making these record-breaking contracts in an era where nobody's watching the trash. Nobody's watching this game, and they have to make a soap opera out of the NBA, front of the media, just to make this game about anything. But they will tell you, even though ESPN doesn't have enough money to get good analysts, Fox done got rid of people, yada, yada, yada. They have to bring in WNBA play-by-play people. They have to bring in the worst play-by-play. I won't say the worst, but they got to bring in welfare play-by-play people on these NBA games and stuff like that. Yet you're trying to tell me that these players are making this kind of money? How? How does the NBA, only in a workplace, their money keeps skyrocketing for a failing product, but nobody else could do that at any other workplace with their employees? Their employees' money couldn't skyrocket and keep going up like that in a failing workplace, especially if it was because of them. If it was because of the employees who can't produce to make the company more than what it is, to keep it going, to make it, I'm just saying, guys, you got to have some common sense. These guys are, these guys are podcasting during the season just to make money. LeBron James has to podcast to make money. He has to bring his son in the NBA just to make money. So at some point, you got to, come to grips that I think their contracts are just for entertainment purposes only. You know what I'm saying? When I say entertainment purposes only, I think They just say this stuff so they can charge certain prices on merch, tickets, popcorn, parking. You know, it's outrageous. And keep the company, keep the teams at a certain price. You know, like this 10 billion that the Lakers just got sold for. Wow. I'm just saying, I couldn't say this stuff and say, okay, these guys don't make this kind of money. Where's the proof? Well, the proof is you guys have to go get a job after they retire. Yeah, the proof is they got a podcast to make money. The proof is the league. You got, what do you call it, debate groups and all these other channels saying stupid stuff just to keep the league moving. We didn't have to do that back in the day. The on-court greatness was the soap opera. They didn't have to make a soap opera and get people arguing and fighting just to sell the NBA back in the day. It didn't work like that, folks. So, you know, we can just move on. You guys can think what you want to think. It ain't gonna get no better, folks. It just ain't gonna get no better being this stupid. But just to my point, the LeBron James camp or people who take his side, look what they do. Check this out. Look at what they do. They got it easy. This is easy work, folks. They do no kind of research. They do no kind of homework. And they win. And when I say that, right, check out what they do. They say that, it's a lot of examples like this latest one, right? They'll say Scottie Pippen, because he averaged 20 points per game and he picked up and played Magic Johnson. I think he scored 30 something points. What was it, 31 or something like that, one game? That's it. That's all their research. That's all they got to do. So then the Michael Jordan, and we all know it's bullshit, but the Michael Jordan fans, they have to go back and they have to do all the work to prove it was trash. To prove this and prove that. And guess what? Not only on this occasion, but on many other occasions, the rebuttal from Michael Jordan fans or Larry Bird fans, Kareem fans, you know, mostly Michael Jordan fans. Sometimes Kobe fans, whatever like that. But for the most part, Michael Jordan fans. They have to do the homework, the research, and everything like that to rebut the LeBron James camp and his minions. All they have to say is simple stuff. That's it. They don't have to dig deep. LeBron James is the greatest all-around player. Okay, then we got to debunk that. You know, LeBron James, this, that. We got to debunk that. So we got to go into numbers. We got to go into years. We got to go into stats. We got to go into situations. Michael Jordan, you know, this and that and that and this. Have Phil Jackson. Michael Jordan couldn't beat this team before. We're the ones who have to do the homework. They don't have to do nothing. All they have to do is talk. That's all they have to do. I'm just saying. To me, this is more genius than anything. I mean, you got to give Plus Sports they're just do. They're just do whatever. They don't have to do anything. The Nick Wrights, the Shannon Sharps, all they have to say is a whole bunch of stupid stuff. And guess what? Michael Jordan won't defend himself. Let me ask you a question. You think all this stuff that was being said about Michael Jordan, that his fans had to run back? Let me put this steak on the fire real quick. The Michael Jordan fans had to run back and rebuttal. What if it was Michael Jordan instead that went back and rebutted it himself? What do you think would happen? Well, I think this would be over a long time ago. It would have been a wrap a long time ago, folks. If Michael Jordan would have just stood up. A lot of these players, when you say you're better than Dominique Wilkins, LeBron James is better than Dominique Wilkins. Is a laughing stock. Dominique Wilkins didn't go around building super teams when he couldn't beat Michael Jordan. If he would have just stepped to because not only are you saying you're better than Michael Jordan, that one there made me the greatest. You're saying you're better than Tim Duncan. You're saying you're better than Michael Jordan. You're saying you're better than Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Karl Malone, Charles Barkley. A lot of these guys. You're saying I think Kobe was even alive at the time in 2016 when he said that. When you say these things, where were these players? Oscar Robertson, he's saying he's better than you. One of the greatest true all-around greatest players of all time. Where were these guys to step up and stop it? Where was they at to step in his face, step in Nick Wright's face, step in Shannon Sharp's face in 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 until now? It would have been over if these guys had any, I'm going to say it. I don't care what anybody says it. Had any balls to step up and say, even Michael Jordan, if these guys would have had any balls to step up and say, and protect their legacy, because their legacy ain't protected by us. We don't get paid no money for protecting their legacies. But guess what? LeBron James sends money out to all kind of people for trying to change history of his legacy. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? Where are these guys not step? He's saying he's better than Clyde Drexler? That's pretty funny. We all know that's a lie. Flip over that steak. We all know that's a lie. He's not better than Clyde Drexler. I don't think so. I don't think so. When we say better, when you're a greater player, it's more than MVPs, championships. Because one minute they'll, oh man, you can't use them championships. Next minute they're using championships on somebody else. It's like, what? Clyde Drexler won one championship without a super team. Yes, he tried to build a super team once he was already old. And guess what? It didn't work out because it was old, busted up, and broke up. Did LeBron James build a super team when he was old? No. No. So Clyde Drexler did it the right way. So how's LeBron better than Clyde Drexler? At what? Oh, he got more defensive teams. LeBron James, at best, his first defensive teams are help defense. They're not on ball defense. They're nothing like that, folks. It's like Larry Bird when he had his, two defensive second teams. They're pretty much help defense. Everybody knows that. He won a great on the ball defender. He was a great help defender, like LeBron James basically has been all his life at best. But you got to remember, who was LeBron James going against to get that All-NBA first team? Versus who Larry Bird was going against to get the All-NBA first team defense at the forward position. Caron Butler? Paul Pierce? Y'all got to stop, man. No knock on those guys, but please. And then when LeBron James stopped making All-NBA defenses, who was he going against? He wasn't going against nobody, not to even, to not even be on the second team. So he basically just gave up, right? In the 210s, he wasn't going against no all-time great defenders at All-NBA. He just gave up and said, I'm not going to play no defense. He couldn't even make second team. And most of the time, a lot of times those are great or good help defenders. That's what the second team is, for the most part. Not all the time, but for the most part. Just saying, man. So how long is this going to go? This guy done destroyed the NBA Finals. And look, I hate to bring this up, but I know everybody wants to make money, rebuttaling all this crazy crap. And, we've already heard about this, though. Didn't we hear about this? We talked about this the other day. The recycle. They have nothing. This is recycled. We heard about Pippen picking up Magic. Now, I don't think it went this far as him being the Finals MVP in '91, but we've heard this before from the LeBron James camp. No, just because Horace Grant is saying this, that don't mean he ain't getting paid from Unclutch. Of course he is. Otherwise, why would he say something so ridiculous that makes zero sense? And this is the only way they can keep, the whole thing going, is say a whole bunch of stuff that don't make any sense. And then, guess what? The Michael Jordan fans have to go back and do all the homework. Oh, goodness. You know what it's like? It's like these people who say, man, the earth, these flat earthers are crazy, man. I'm not trying to say it's a flat earth or it's a round earth. But the guys who say it's a round earth, they don't have any evidence. All they have is the government's evidence, which is very little. But the flat earthers, guess what they have to do? They have to go back and do all the research. They come with piles and piles and paper after paper after paper. It's just hours of research. Either physical evidence or common sense evidence. And then all the people with the globe model have to do is say, man, them people are stupid. They don't have to put in no proof. Their proof, a round ball and water staying on it, and then they'll say, oh man, that's gravity. What? So Let's just say something so simple right here. So if gravity can hold all these trillions, quadrillion tons of water on a damn ball, how the fuck is you walking around, son? How is you able to even jump off the ground? How's you able to walk around? If the force is that much, a plane could even lift off the ground. A paper plane couldn't lift off the ground. It would be impossible. You'll fucking explode. But these same people will tell you about the Bible. In the Bible, in Genesis, right in the beginning, it says you live in a dome. It don't matter if you look at the Old Testament or the New Testament. It says you live in a firmament with water above and water below. But you have these people out here who do no work except for call people idiots and tin hats and all this stuff and say they have zero evidence. That seems closer to the LeBron James fans. They don't have to present no evidence. Again, the Michael Jordan fans, they have to come back and they have to do all the research, they have to present all the evidence, just like the so-called flat earthers. I'm not trying to say the earth is flat or it's round. Who knows? But the government ain't to be believed. Who controls science? The government. Who controls health? The government. Who controls all this stuff throughout history that's in the school, in the teaching? The government. You trust them? Well, good for you. You scared to go to church? Oh, never mind. You can't go to church. It says the earth is flat in the Bible. So you can't go to that place anyways. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. So, you guys got a lot of people out here as agents, man. A lot of people as agents for the system. And that's it, man. They want to be, let them be. But this is what I'll tell you. The LeBron James camp will always win. As long as the Michael Jordan fans respond, they always win. Because Michael Jordan, he don't respond. That's why he's winning. That's why in real society, everybody's still buying his shit. Because he keeps quiet. Right? So he always wins. It's like when he come back to NBC, he's not going to sit there and fight and fuss and stuff like that. And he's probably going to be AI, deep fake, whatever like that. He's not even going to be live. Because Michael Jordan keeps winning. Michael Jordan wins in his pockets. Okay, LeBron James might win in the media, but he's not winning out there against Michael Jordan. But he's winning against the Michael Jordan fans. Because the Michael Jordan fans keep responding. I'm just saying, man, I'm not trying to, put myself over anybody else or nothing like that, because I've responded. But I'm just trying to say I stopped responding. Everybody else gonna keep talking about it. But I'm just saying, if we didn't respond to none of this stuff, guess what? They're done. They're done. They're done. Guess what? The media would have to backpedal, because eventually the media is gonna have to backpedal anyways. They're gonna have to get out because he can't play forever. But we all know it'll probably be something else, right? Next up, it'll probably be Bronny. And you already know this is how the NBA is over, folks. The NBA is already over. It's been over. It's a joke. It's a complete joke. So we're gonna watch this game tonight. I don't know who's gonna win. To me, what I expect and what's gonna happen, who knows? But what I expect is for OKC to be an all-time historic team, which they fell short of that, because the all-time historic team would have not have went to a game 7 against the number 4 seed that was at the bottom of the damn basement at the All-Star break. Okay? Well, the Pacers were like number 7 or something like that at the All-Star break. Nevertheless, I expect for them to come out here and blow them out. And, it just be one of them things that happen. That, Pacers were a good team, a scrappy team, a deep team that played them to game 7. But ultimately, OKC had to blow them out in game 7. If it goes down the stretch, and if it's a real game going down the stretch, OKC is not an all-time great team. Not even close. To me, they're not anyways, because it's a game 7. But I'm just saying, they're not even close if this game goes down the stretch, folks. It might be good for NBA ratings. That's fine. And I'm not trying to say nothing bad about the Pacers, whatever. But if OKC does lose this game, I'm done with SGA. To me, this take a big hit on his legacy. I don't care about no stats or nothing like that. Whoa, boy, let me grab this up out of here. Oh wow. I don't care about no stats or nothing like that. As a leader, you got to rally the troops, man. You got to rally the troops. Who's a leader on this team? If he can't rally the troops as an MVP winner, usually your MVP winner is supposed to be the leader. It's supposed to be the leader. So I don't care about no damn stats. You got to rally them troops. So you know what I want to see? I want to see them put on a show like, they beat the hell out of Denver. Or, some games they beat the hell out of Memphis. Something like that, folks. This is their only chance to me. Especially if you lose this one. This is demoralizing. I don't even see how you come back from this. In the way the 2020s have been going, it's been a different team every season, especially because of injuries, right? We've seen all these different injuries and stuff. This is why this team didn't do this. This is why this team didn't do that. Because of these injuries. So, I done stuck up for SGA a lot, man. I'm just nerve-wracked now because I don't care about stats. If this guy cares about stats that much or whatever, go out there and put up a 50 spot and don't even give them a chance. If you can't rally the troops and you're not this leader, well, okay, maybe you're not. A lot of guys aren't leaders who are the best players on the team. But at least go out there and put on a 50 spot, man. Put this team away. What are you doing? And it looked like they gave up in game 6, which is something I'm not digging, man. I'm not digging that. If you would have lost game 6 and it went down to the wire, fine. But a game 6 like that is you put the team away. Michael Jordan put them away. The hell with a game 7, even if it's back at home. Okay, I'm just saying, man. I don't understand this NBA. I guess it just goes with this world that's going on right now. It's a lot of crazy stuff going on. A lot of people in conflict with their families. A lot of people dying of food related illnesses. Sports ain't the same. People only care about sports to try to make money off of YouTube or make money off of betting. And this is why sports is so awful right now. These analysts and stuff like that, they have people fighting. Take the LeBron James and Michael Jordan debate, right? This ain't because it's a Michael Jordan fan and a LeBron James fan fighting. It's because the media are liars. If they put things in their proper perspective, like real NBA fans have to do, then the Michael Jordan and LeBron fans wouldn't be fighting. The NBA wouldn't be where it is right now, which is trash. Hold on for a second. My fault. It wouldn't be where it is right now. Like I was telling you the other day, when Gilbert Arenas went on First Take, why the hell is he there? If he's a liar and he worked for Clutch Sports, why is he there? Well, he's there because ESPN lies. And they're liars. That's why. Hey, welcome another liar to the panel. Jade Will lies. Stephen A. Smith. We know he's a liar. We got video footage of him saying stuff totally different, in the 210s than what he's saying now. So we know he's a liar. So it's just open lies now, and it's crazy. So these kids growing up, they're not going to be truthful. They're not going to be real. They're not going to be authentic. about any truth, because what they see, where the money is. The money is about lying. Look on these guys' podcasts. Rasheed Wallace lying, Gilbert Arenas lying, Shannon Sharp lying, Nick Wright lying, Stephen A. Smith lying. A lot of these NBA players lying, ex-players, current players, there's lies. And the fact is, it's not an opinion. It's something you can just go back and look at the numbers, look at the careers, look at the situations. It's a lie. But these people don't care because they want to be, like the biggest liars up there. Because they know, well, man, if I could stir this up, if I could be a lie, all these people going to jump to my channel and see what I'm lying about. That's what the whole Gilbert Arenas channel is built off of. Yes, he'll say some truth, and then he'll start lying about a whole bunch of other stuff. And that's why I would say, you ain't going to make no money telling the truth on social media. You ain't. As far as sports is concerned, in this new thing with the NBA, and all the money is to be made with lies. So I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here. I don't know, man. We might, like I said, we might do a video after the NBA finals. This this is just drug on way too long, man. Hopefully it's good. For OKC, they better not hope it's good. They better hope they just blow this team out. But I'm just saying, for the NBA's sake, they better hope this is good, that they don't drug it out this long. Now, if we were talking about a 1 against a 1, who was the one? Cavaliers? Say if it was the Cavaliers against OKC. It's okay. I wouldn't even complain about that. But a 1 and a 4? Not a 1 and a 3. Not a 1 and a 2. Not a 1 and a 1. A 1 and a 4. Huh? And again, this is what the NBA does. This is what they want to do, so they can, this WNBA game is this day. This WNBA game is this, so they can advertise it on NBA games. Who cares? You care? Let's see who cares once the NBA is over. Once the finals is over about the WNBA. If you watch it, you watch it. I'm not trying to hate, but give me a break. Give me a break. So let me get off of here. Yeah, again, they could have picked any other NBA finals, and we done heard them all. I think we done heard something in '96 about Rodman or Pippen should have been the finals MVP. We done heard any other finals too. But like I always say, at some point you got to start blaming the NBA for this too. But anyways, yeah, the NBA, like I was talking about earlier, the NBA is so bad that these past players won't even speak out on their behalf. Literally getting pooped on. It's one thing for Michael Jordan not to speak out because, he's at the top. He's making a lot of money. It don't do him anything good to even say nothing. Actually, it's benefiting him. But for all the, like I said, the all-time other greats, not to even say nothing. And I think Jerry West said something, right before he passed. But it's almost like a stranglehold on these players where they can't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's like a stranglehold where they're literally getting dissed. The Hakeem Elijah ones, the Patrick Ewings, you know what I'm saying? The David Robinsons, the Moses, all these guys that played in the NBA that who are still alive. You're trying to say LeBron is better than? LeBron James better than them? Wow. You're talking about guys who won crazy statistical titles, had all-time positional skills at their positions, guys who didn't build super teams like Larry Bird and was able to run the 80s. They'll call this a super team, the 80s Lakers, because they got guys through the draft. And they just ran rush, even though Kareem wasn't doing nothing, wasn't making the playoffs, wasn't doing nothing in the playoffs with the Lakers. So one guy comes and it becomes a super team out the draft. What about the Celtics? They weren't doing nothing in the 70s before Larry Bird came. He was missing the playoffs. Soon as Larry Bird comes, it's a super team now. Just crazy. So how come? Well, I just don't get it, man. You got guys who all-time greats at their position as far as positional skills that were great paint players, great mid-range players, maybe, could shoot the three, could shoot the free throws, could shoot the mid-range. And LeBron James, for some reason, is better than those guys? Wow. These guys didn't switch teams three times. Build super teams. Isaiah Thomas could have teamed up with Michael Jordan. Oh, we can't beat the Celtics and the Lakers. We can't beat them. Let's join up, bro. Hell, they could have said that a lot of players. We all know about Barkley, Ewing, and Patrick Ewing, Ewing, Barkley, and Jordan. They didn't say that. That wasn't respected back then. That wasn't respected unless you was like old and broken down. And I kind of learned that too when I first got into this stuff. And it was in Facebook groups. They got so many NBA pages and so many NBA groups. And then you get in there and they're dissing Michael Jordan, and they're saying the same stuff that Nick Wright says because they don't know nothing, right? And what I found out was they don't have to do any homework. All they have to do is say stuff on the surface. Like, Michael Jordan couldn't beat, the Pistons till they got old. Couldn't beat Bird to it. They don't, it's just saying some stuff. You're not really breaking down what really happened and the reason why. You know what I'm saying? They don't say, oh yeah, Michael Jordan, who had a team with Pippen in his prime, Horace Grant in his prime, and Michael Jordan in his prime couldn't beat Bird, in Magic in those teams in their prime. They don't say that. they just say a couple words, a couple sentences. That's their homework. Or we all heard that before Pippen. They don't have to do any homework. They don't say, oh man, Michael Jordan couldn't win before Pippen came, and in the first round that Pippen ever played, his first playoff game, this man averaged 25 a game, 30 a game. This is why Michael Jordan, good thing Pippen came. They don't have to do any homework. It's the Michael Jordan fans that have to do all the homework. This is insane. It's the Michael Jordan fans that have to scream, have to have headaches, have to call people names. The LeBron fans they don't have to do any homework. It basically what it is, it's antagonizing. That's all it is. Everybody knows LeBron James ain't a top 5 player. And if you want to be real, he's not a top 25 player. This is what Clutch Sports has been set up for. If we can antagonize the Michael Jordan fans, we're getting paid. So what we do is we pay Nick Wright, we pay Shannon Sharp, we pay Skip Bayless, we pay, Stephen A. Smith, we pay all these people to put LeBron James at 1 or 2, and this antagonizes the shit out of Michael Jordan fans. See, LeBron James didn't start like at 5 and said, oh, yep, he passed Magic now because of this and that. He's at 5 now. Oh, he's at 4 now. Yep, he passed Bill Russell because of this and that. Oh, now he's at 3. He passed Kareem because of this and that. Oh yeah, he's passing Will Chamberlain now because of this and that. And now he passed Michael Jordan because of this. They didn't go through that. They just woke up and said he's number 1 in 2016 because he beat the Warriors, who had only won 1 championship, and a whole bunch of guys with no pedigree, who weren't even a super team, but they were playing a super team. The Warriors were. You go back and look at Draymond Green, and you look at Klay Thompson. You look at their accolades from 15, all the way up until 2016. You're going to laugh compared to the accolades that you could put them all on there. You could put Curry, Klay, you could put Draymond, all their accolades up to 2016 versus the accolades with LeBron James, Kyrie, and Love. Even if you put just Kyrie and Love, it's still a joke. But if you put all 3 of them together, their accolades against the Warriors' accolades is a joke. It's like they're playing an intramural team. The Cavs are. It's a joke. So 2016, he was the greatest player of all time. We ain't talking about, we're talking about 3 and 4. He was better than And just the accolades he had right there, he was better than Magic, Bird, Kareem, Jordan, Barkley, Drexler, Robinson, Ewing, all these guys. He was better than them at 3 and 4, and at that point, 4 finals blowout losses, numerous chokes, and all this stuff. Second super team. And also, you got to remember too, since forever, how's this guy been so important? Either coming into the NBA or up to that point, with all those failures and hiccups, and not even an overall game. Well, the NBA was that bad, folks. Not that this guy wasn't a great player, but why was he so important after he left Cleveland? Nobody can explain that. If you left Cleveland to build a super team to win, and that's what people did back in the past when they got old, he was no more of relevant in the GOAT debate. So Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, and Ray Allen teamed up. Everybody knew these were for cheap rings. They weren't as relevant as far as what they were going to do after that, versus the players that they were before they teamed up. We saw how that went. 1 championship in 6 years. Old bones. They weren't that great out of their prime. It just wasn't. It just wasn't, folks. So, we can go ahead and talk on here forever, but, I just say a whole bunch of stuff that, have you scratching your head with this whole thing, man. It's just like, what? We can say LeBron James ruined the NBA with all this dissing back and forth of past players, Michael Jordan, whatever. But at the same time, the NBA past players ruined the game too. Because these guys should have been at the forefront to dispute this. They should have been there from day one. For all these guys, it don't matter if LeBron James camp was saying it or the media was saying it. These guys should have been at the forefront. You're not protecting something that, okay, LeBron James camp said, or the media said, that NBA players were this and that back in the day, which still you should come to the forefront. They specifically done said names before. Specifically done said names before in this specific players. To me, for Kareem to even show up and hand LeBron James a basketball for breaking he literally came to LA to step all over this man's record. Now, if he wanted to break the record, to me, he should have went back to Cleveland. But he knew what he was doing. To me, he should have retired before he broke the man's record, because he ain't even there to win championships. But for Kareem to have to hand him the ball and smile with him, and the NBA give Kareem a couple dollars for doing it, it's sad, man. It shows how sad the NBA is in this commissioner right here, this Rainbow Warrior. And you got to question, who is really running the NBA anymore?